What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld. And a lot of you guys have been asking about this card, the Mike Haynes. Should I spend the 2 million coins? I've seen him come down to about 1.75. We're going to go ahead and check his market value right now. I'm going to tell you this so that you guys understand. There aren't a lot of cards that really have the high value that can sustain it, with the exception of John Elway. Even with the fact that Tom Brady's there, just because he has a faster release. And I saw a couple comments when guys were like, Tom with the gunslinger, that's built in. You can't get that in addition to the other abilities with the set feet lead with John Elway, with the fearless and the hot route master and all that stuff. And I understand it, but it's still a different throwing motion. For instance, if you utilize Tom Brady, he has an issue getting rid of the ball at the same speeds as some of the other players in the game, but he's still one of the best cost-effective players in the game at the most important position in the game, which is the quarterback. So let's take a look at what the prices are. So right now he's at 1.8, right? We have him on the squad right now, so we're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you guys what's happening, and I'm going to explain to you guys why it's probably not in your best interest to go after him right now and get him. I do understand that he's 6'2". I understand, we look for big corners because they're big wide receivers. I also understand that the fact of the matter, Carmichael is a really bad corner in the game because he's just big for nothing. Also, Calvin, I can't really leave him on the outside either because he usually gets beat deep. It's like a weird situation. The bigger corners don't play the position very well. And it's very, very difficult to explain. But unless you get a guy like myself that's trying to moss you every play and you just leave them out there, you can't really have them defending slants, C routes. They're not all-purpose corners. So let's take a look at what's going on. On a Legends theme team, 96 speed, 95 excel, all that stuff is looking good. I can't complain about any of that. All right, 96 zone, 98 man. But let me explain to you guys what happens when you go to the abilities. And this is where I believe this is like one of the biggest L's this year in MUT. The team is not as inclined with the user and the community as they once were. It's like they don't know what's going on and they just put random abilities in the box. Like they're playing like, tic-tac-toe to figure out who's going to put a ability in the box, and the person that doesn't know what's going on wins and puts it in the box. It just doesn't make any sense. So when I saw this released, right, during the MCS, when I saw the mid-route KO and then I saw it again for 1 AP, I was saying to myself, this is stupid. It doesn't make any sense for you to put it in both boxes. You know what I'm saying? You should make them be able to choose between inside shade and something else, and then you can put him again in this situation because he's a man-to-man archetype in this box right here. It doesn't make any sense that Teddy Hendricks with a 70 overall man has the option of a 1 AP deep route KO, and Mike Haynes, whose archetype is man-to-man, does not. It's really, really stupid. So what happens is this. I've been testing out Inside Shade, and if you guys, are sub to my other channels, GmiasWorld Gaming and GmiasWorld Sports, you'll see the gameplay that I show you with this ability. This does not work at all the way that it did at launch. It's a completely different nerfed ability that does not really do what it's supposed to do. So you don't have a choice, right, in this matter, because I'm letting you know that if you go ahead and you spend the money, you're getting a card that really doesn't have the proper value. There are very, very few cards that also get the pick artist, which for some reason is absolutely necessary. EA has made it very important to be used, or the ball will be tipping around and it'll be volleyball. You're like, yo, what is this? It becomes really ridiculous, right? So I would not recommend Inside Shade. And it always has to make me very, very cautious when EA starts giving away discounted abilities, because they know what works and what doesn't. So when they tune the game, you'll notice that this Inside Shade, even when you play them in the slot, they get burnt more than if you just have medium route KO. And I tested it. Like I'm telling you right now, the medium route will stay with corners. It'll stay with like any kind of post from the middle. On the outside, when you run mid route KO, it'll stay with the C route. So it has a lot more benefit, and it plays it a lot better with all-purpose routes. Now the Inside Shade, if you play somebody that just wants to run C routes, it will play it better. Okay, but that's the only route that I've noticed that they'll probably take a step in from the outside and run in and try to pick the ball up on the C route when you cut to come up and above. If you only have deep route KO, you will get burnt over the top if you press a C route. All right, I just want you guys to understand some of the basics when you're choosing the abilities. So if you now spend 2 million, right? This is what happens. I'm between a rock and a hard place. This is why. If I choose to keep this player on the outside which you should because he's 96 speed, you don't have an option. You have to run deep route and mid route in order to be able to deal with all the stuff that people do on the outside. Now, this is the other option you could have, right? If you feel that he would be better off for you in the slot, for whatever reason, you put him in at safety, you run the nickel, like you got to have corners. You can't really play safeties at safety positions with the way the game plays, because everybody comes out running bench, out of tight, and it's really, really stupid, and nobody stays with anyone. So you could, hear me out, this is the way that I would adjust the abilities, just so you guys understand. You can leave mid route and pick artist, right? And play him in the slot. Take this off to save AP, all right? Now, when you go to Cromartie, in your lineup, you could go over here. I'm going to show you what's going on with him. Cromartie now, because he has the opportunity, who is also man-to-man and also 96 speed, you can interchange it. So you can give him mid route, and then you could also give him deep route. But you're going to lose pick artists. Stay away from inside shade. Again, just stay away from it, right? But you're going to lose pick artists. Now, it all depends on the way you want to play this, right? Because, like I said, I know for a fact that having these two together is really, really good and OP, but it's up to you. Again, however you choose to do this, it's solely up to you. But I'm just trying to give you guys the best opportunity to utilize the abilities the right way. And also, so you kind of know what you're going into, because the way that the game plays, you're going to be very, very mad when you go out there and you spent all of that, and the dude is still getting dotted and weird stuff is happening. He's getting beat over the top. Now, remember, randomly, you still will get beat over the top. And just to show you this, either way, you can get it for 4 if you still wanted to go pick artists after you switch everything up. But again, I'm going to go into the actual lineup screen so you can see the way the abilities are kind of, adjusting itself and give you guys more of an idea of what I'm doing. Because you're going to have to sacrifice. Now look, Mike Haynes right now is still the starting corner, but he's actually going to be playing in the slot. Cromartie is now going to be a starting outside corner, and then we still have 2 AP left. Okay? So we could still give Cromartie pick artist and have him on the outside, or we could give this guy the other thing for 3, because what do we have, 2 left? So we could take away mid route completely and just give Mike Haynes all of the deep route abilities, and then Deion Sanders would be probably rendered useless because we wouldn't need him anywhere else. Because what happens is when you run the nickel, you're going to need 4 players with, chemistries that's going to help you, be able to take dudes out of the play. The mid KOs and stuff like that, the mid route KO. So Richard Sherman is one of them that have pick artists and mid route. All right. Deion gets mid route also for 2. So we can throw that on him. But this guy gets mid route for 1, but we add pick artist, and pick artist comes into play extremely well for you, because then you can click on and have the luxury of getting a pick instead of getting mossed. If you do not have pick artist, you're going to be auto mossed. So just understand it. It's very, very important that you get that. All right. So just understand that aspect of what I'm showing you. So now it's a time of mix and match. But I didn't want you guys to do this because you can still utilize the free cards and not have to waste 2 mil for a guy to play the slot, because you don't want to spend the AP to give him those abilities. All right. So this is just a way to mix and match it. I would say you would be better off Antonio Cromartie, Calvin Johnson, who is cheaper. If Antonio was still expensive, you can rock with Deion Sanders. If you don't have Deion Sanders because you're just starting out, you're going to have to go Night Train Lane. All of the corners that you see right here in my lineup, I would recommend them over spending the 2 mil or the 1.7, 1.8 unless you actually have it. If you want me to go deeper into the abilities, let me know in the comments. Until next time, one love, y'all.